Did I ever tell you guys about the time I met Carrie Fisher?
All the time. All the freaking time.
We are recording.
Recording. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to an episode of the Heroes Peak podcast. It is the 30th of June. June, right? June.
30th of June,
I'm back at
halftime.
work. I've been back at work for a couple weeks now, and I'm losing time again. How's everybody doing? I am your host, Chris, and with me today I have my wonderful co-host. I got Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, did I ever tell you guys about the time I met Carrie Fisher?
All the time. All the freaking time. God rest her soul.
Have you ever met Carrie?
Because he won't let her rest.
And with
I
us
will
today,
bring you back from the dead. I will.
oh my god.
Edit that out, please.
All right, I'm gonna start the podcast with that.
Don't worry about what's behind this wall.
It's actually right behind,
This one?
James's head.
Mumra's tomb is not behind this wall, folks.
Oh gosh. All right. So next we have Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Hey, I'm just hoping somebody's checking on Betty White.
Keeping her in our prayers. Keeping her in our prayers. And James, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Preparing for the third quarter of 2020, man. This is where we make that comeback. This is it.
Third quarter.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Yeah,
we
man.
just passed.
We passed halftime.
Yeah.
Was
All
it?
right. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah,
true.
we're going into the third quarter. This is where the lead team tends to fall behind. Just ask the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oof.
Should have run that ball. All right. So we've got a couple of things I'm supposed to talk about today, according to Mike. And if you don't like the topics, people, Mike is in charge here. Blame
Hey.
him.
Not my agenda. What are you talking about? I don't. Do you think
It's
I
approved by you,
mystery box?
man.
Come on, man.
You know, this is where the leadership actually is just a pretty face. He doesn't really do anything, and he lets everybody else do the real work.
Sounds familiar.
America.
The American way from the
That's
Canadian.
Hey,
All right. So we're going to talk about the DC Fandome with the some announcements about some questions, open question periods here. They're going to try to answer. I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
if that's
So
going to work.
let me take the baton from you real quick.
I
if you
didn't
don't
finish what
mind.
we were going to talk about today first.
Oh, sorry, man.
Doing the
That's
wrong
what happens when you do an agenda. We
I don't
throw it
want-
out the window.
I don't want to get in trouble
down.
with Mike. Remember, he's in charge.
All right, Chris. What else are we talking about?
All right. So, and I don't even know what the second topic is because it says mystery topic.
Oh.
It's an RB block today, folks. don't
I know
what-
something which you don't.
And
sounds like
a lot. Probably a lot.
kerfluffle.
And we're going to talk creative differences. That's funny. We're going to talk art versus artists or maker versus content or all that. Thank you, J.K. Rowling, for kicking this crap off for us again. It happens every once in a while, people. It's actually not new. And
you know what's sad? I don't. Not to get ahead,
Mike,
but
you're getting rid of our agenda. Come on.
I know, right? This is one begging for it.
Jeez.
Can't even stick to it.
when we get into it, I'll talk about
And last but not least, we're going to announce our first King of the Hill. Hopefully, our first, and we can do more after
This is fun.
competition.
That'll be
That'll be good. It's not something we'll resolve here. It's just something we'll announce, and everybody can pass their votes forward. So now we're actually going to do content and not just tell you what we might think about talking about. And we're going to do the DC Fandome.
Hold on,
James.
Mike. Is there anything else you want to put before
Oh.
I start? Just making sure.
We're so organized.
No, I'm good. You're free.
Any plugs? Any plugs you want to shout out to?
No, but if you guys can spare any body parts for my resurrection project, that'd be great.
Oh boy. All right, moving right along. So DC Comics announced yesterday in social media, and it really, a lot of folks got wind of it, but today it was huge. So the DC fandom, one of our earlier podcasts, we talked about DC was going to look to salvage some of the downtime that we're having during COVID with the the cancellation of Comic-Con and WonderCon, some of the other cons that we normally would have around this time that would showcase a lot of the DC flagship products and content. They decided, you know what, they're going to do it themselves. It's about time. They're going to do an online version of it, and they're going to call it DC Fandom. DC Fandom scheduled August 22nd. We talked about that a couple podcasts ago, but at the time, it wasn't really clear, other than a few odds and ends, what could possibly be showcased. Well, to really push the fact that DC has no clue, they've on online today and yesterday, they've decided for you, the fans, to log on to questions.dcfandom.com and submit your questions on what you would like to see revealed, talked about, or discussed across all the DC multiverse: comics, animation, TV, cinema, merchandising, video games, you name it, the entire DC library.
Is Joss Whedon going to be there to answer my questions?
So this forum will give you a chance to, and I don't know what the deadline is for cutoff for questions, but I found it was really funny because I actually clicked on it just to see what some of these topics were. And of course, I saw one that said Zack Snyder.
Ooh.
So, you know, across like HBO Max, Pennyworth, which Chris might find it interesting, CW, Stargirl, the Batman video game. Batman was actually here a lot. Video game, animation, TV show, and the movie, et cetera, et cetera. Zack Snyder has his own topic that people
Well,
can,
that's because they don't want all the other topics to be just people going about Zack Snyder's second and third film that I'm sure you're going to let him make.
Exactly, because we know that the release of Snyder Cut, the Zack Snyder cult that's out there, is going to probably use this opportunity to take over the DC fandom and make it more about the Zack Snyder movie universe as opposed to, like, for example, I know there's a new Batman video game that's going to be released soon on PS4 and the new PS4, that is, PS5, excuse me, and the Nintendo, what's the Microsoft. Xbox, thank you. I had a little brain fart there. So this game is probably going to be a huge seller for them. So they're going to talk about that during the DC fandom. But the Snyder fans are going to really want to push this to be more towards what's going to happen in the DC universe as far as films. Will Ben Affleck return, Wonder Woman, all that stuff that we've been talking about for over a year now. And more than likely will hijack this experience. And right before we went on air 5 minutes ago, The Rock himself has announced that he will also participate in DC fandom to give us some exclusive information behind the scenes on Black Adam. So kudos to The Rock, you know, making lemonade out of lemons, knowing that this thing might actually be a clusterfuck. And with his star power and his charisma, I think he can actually do something positive with the DC fandom experience.
He's one of those always positive guys, and he can kind of draw people to him and kind of.
Dude, I watched him online the other day showing you how he makes he's marketing his tequila brand, and he was showing you how he's making it from the spirit of his people and ancestors and Samoa and this, that, and the third. And like the way he just catches you on the video, you feel like, yeah, man, I went to the store and bought the same products, and no, it came nowhere near. I did not feel the ancient spirits. I didn't feel the ancient spirits of health. I just felt my liver not agreeing with what I made.
And you didn't drink enough.
Yeah, but yeah, his appeal it's there. It's unparalleled, and I think that's a DC, despite some of the other hiccups and what I think the problems we're going to have and obstacles with the cult fandom. Black Adam and let's not forget Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman. I think those are very positive things that they can probably showcase.
My man. Don't forget my man.
No, I refuse to jump on that bandwagon. I'm sorry, Mike.
Man,
I'm on the Aquaman bandwagon.
I'm not on that bandwagon.
I am too.
So, and who knows? They haven't announced it yet. Maybe Michael Keaton might, you know.
Oh, that's the big. Is that
Michael
the mystery
Keaton,
topic?
He might be. No, it's not the mystery topic.
Oh.
But he might be the mystery topic for DC fandom.
So what's the #1 question so far? Why does DC suck so hard?
No, I didn't. I just logged in real quick, took a look at it. I didn't really pay attention to how many questions were submitted and what topics they were on.
Sorry, DC fans. I know I pissed a lot of you off just now.
That's all right, Mike. You told me we're not supposed to be popular. Wait a minute. How's that work?
Mhm.
I said don't feed the troll.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think DC has enough fans, not just the Joker and Snyder fans, but like general audience fans out there. I think they're building some goodwill. I want to
I think
see.
they are.
Well, I think Wonder Woman 84, August.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I know Tenet got moved and a bunch of stuff got moved, and so opening of theaters got moved because they don't have a big splash to open with. So, whew. So the other DC news, and we'll just mention it so we don't have to spend too much time on it, was that they're in talks, or is it official that Michael Keaton is going to become the Batman again in the Flashpoint movie?
I thought it was in talks that he will be
Yeah.
featured in the movie.
It's all just rumor right now, isn't it?
Yeah, but was it confirmed that he will, take the mantle? Obviously, if you're going to bring Michael Keaton, it's going to be for one reason in a DC movie.
Right. And
But-
then I heard the worst of the rumors was that he was supposed to be I just blanked. Samuel L. Jackson of the universe.
That's stupid. That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, how's that work? Anybody know?
That he is basically collecting from around the multiverse to create a Justice League. Again,
Who is
people are coming up with the
That's-
craziest
my question-
things.
My question is, who is he in this universe? Like, we know who
Batman.
Nick Fury is. Nick
He's
Fury.
Batman. He's 89 Batman.
So he's a Batman, and he's gonna find another Batman to take over.
No, he's a Batman, and he's going to get
Like
the
Batman
Flash.
Beyond, right?
And so because they're getting rid of Affleck
Mm-mm.
and they're going a different route, I have a feeling that I can't believe that they're just gonna like have him show up for 10 seconds and be like, no, I'm not the Batman you're looking for. So either my choice, if I were in charge and they said, hey, we want to do the 89 Batman connection, I would say, okay, he's an old Batman and you get a Terry McGinnis and a Batgirl and a Nightwing, and he's just kind of that kind of Bat family tree.
You're talking like Batman Beyond, right? Like,
Yeah, like Batman Beyond, but also with Nightwing and the younger crew. He like creates a crew that's the Bat kids.
This
But
sounds
I have
like
a-
to.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I have a feeling that they're just going to have him. Do you guys remember the Dark Universe really attempted to make Russell Crowe kind of running an institution?
Yes,
I
he
have a
was
feeling-
Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to try that with Batman from the 89 universe. I don't know what else, because he's not going to be an action Batman. He's not
No.
going to come in and do that. What
You
else
know-
do you hire him for?
Here's another thought here. Perhaps they're going to try to recreate the DC CW Crisis event with the different Batmans and have him as the older Batman from Batman Beyond, which I think Mike was trying to get into. And he's there to really get the right people at the right spot, but he's not going to move forward the story after the Flash episode.
See, but
Yeah.
there was also the rumor that the Flash movie was supposed to be Flashpoint,
Yeah,
right? So,
which means he won't survive Flashpoint,
right.
and then there'll be a whole reboot yet again of the DC film universe. And his impact would be to kind of galvanize the team, like Nick Fury, maybe more so Coulson. He gets him there, he dies, then he makes the ultimate sacrifice. They get inspired by him, and then the new Justice League is formed.
I don't know. Like I told you guys in chat, if MCU decided to do the End Game as their 5th movie, do you think it would have survived?
No, it would not. There was no gravitas. There was
And
no
that's-
connection.
Wait, what do you mean 5th movie?
The DC is basically, if you look at the movies they've made, if you compare them to comparable MCU movies.
Right.
So imagine the MCU universe that went Iron Man, and then Civil War,
Oh, and then
and then,
Infinity War,
like,
and then Endgame.
then
Like that?
Endgame,
Yeah.
and then you know, the multiverse madness that we're supposed to be getting.
It'd be a hot mess.
Right,
Yeah.
you'd be like, what's going on here? Am I supposed to
Well,
like?
that's the problem. I always feel like DC's rushing everything, right? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, they tried to come out of the gate with, "Hey,
Yeah.
Superman," and then we're gonna
Justice.
battle them. Yeah,
I
and then
think
we're gonna.
I think Doomsday came out too soon. You know, we can get into a whole other discussion about.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but
Yeah.
No.
it's just big news.
But
I
listen,
mean,
bottom line out of this whole announcement is that the DC's asking you guys, to ask some questions, and I guarantee you the think tanks are going to take a couple of those stuff, you know, whatever you ask, they're going to like write a story about some of this ideas of you guys. Hey, you know, what happened to Harley Quinn? You know, I know she had a movie, but perhaps we should create a female Legion of Doom and have her be like the Lex Luthor. Oh, that's a great idea.
well, that's the bird. That's technically the Birds of Prey. But
Yeah, but they got to change it around. So this is DC's chance to get you fans to give them some ideas of what they need to be doing better.
Poison Ivy correctly this time,
mm-hmm.
and not
Yeah.
the Schumacher way. Rest in peace.
I mean,
Make a live action of the animation we're watching.
honestly, I think a very cool. Oh my god, I can't believe I did it. A great movie would be if you took the Mr. Freeze animated episode and made that an actual movie, because I think there's a lot to that, where you have an interesting bad guy with an interesting story that's not just punch him up, right?
Nah, they're gonna give you another Joker movie. Yeah,
So it
you're
sounds like-
giving them too much credit.
Sounds like we need to collaborate offline and submit our questions as the
Yeah, that's right.
Heroes Peak.
Terrace Peak.
Yeah,
Here's big question.
No.
Okay.
down for that if you guys want to do that. So just let
I
me know.
pass. I'll let you guys do that.
All right. So we're gonna move on to our mystery topic here.
Wait,
So I'm
wait,
gonna.
wait! Before we do that, before we get off of DC, have you guys watched Doom Patrol yet?
Oh no. Okay. Actually,
Wait,
I'm gonna.
the second season?
Yeah,
It's out already?
yeah.
I haven't seen it. No, I actually do plan on watching it.
Okay, good.
I'm actually gonna give a DC mea culpa and say Stargirl is a hell of a lot better than I gave it credit for.
Yes,
It's good,
yes,
it's
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
Really
I'm begging my
enjoying
daughter to
watching
watch
it.
that show because I know she's gonna love it. But she just, I guess the trailers didn't do any justice, so she doesn't
Yeah.
believe me.
Well,
that
I
it's
don't
that
think
good.
that even the first episode it's amazing that the first episode's the weakest. I'm actually like, it's gotten better as it went along, and it was
Latest
just,
episode was really good, by the way.
yeah.
I'm watching
So-
right after the pod.
Stargirl, is that the one where the girl looks like Captain America?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Wait,
trailers
what is that on?
kind of cheesy. It's on CW.
And the DC,
I mean, but
Or-
where is it streamed?
yeah, that's probably why I saw it early, because I think DC streaming is releasing it Sundays,
Mhm.
Oh, so
Sundays
it's streaming
before-
on DC.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have to watch this on CW.
or Channel 11 CW in your area.
It is
Wow.
available to you.
Who watches
All right.
regular TV? I don't even
Or-
know how to get to my
Watch
regular-
his
Or-
regular-
As Mike will say, it is
Or
available.
the Heroes Peak streaming service.
yeah.
Mm.
Cut. All right. Now to our mystery topic. Mike, I'm gonna hand it
Is
over to
meat
you.
or is it not meat? I have no idea what this is. That's Jim.
Wait, oh,
Yes,
James.
it's me, the mystery topic.
mystery topic.
As you can see on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to.
Oh.
Right, so something that you kind of touched upon was the movies being delayed recently. Looks like AMC and Regal Cinemas, the two biggest, along with Lowe's, the biggest corporate movie theater chains in North America, had agreed to push the reopening of their movies to end of July or even August in some cases. And a common thread here, as you can see here, is the COVID-19. You know, it's coming back for second wave. It's not, you know, it's like the Dark Knight Rises. Some states,
First wave ain't done.
yeah, some states actually were able to maintain, like New York and states that we're in, and other states, you know, it's taking a deep dive the other direction. Not too long ago, in one of our previous podcasts, we talked about the NBA, the opportunity to go to Orlando and have a bubble. Everybody was tested, and we would have like a shortened season, and then we go to playoffs, and we were like, "Yay, sports!" Because we were right on the tail of the Michael Jordan Last Dance. Well, it looks like coronavirus said no to that, and on top of that, a lot of players just didn't feel comfortable. They were like, "I don't know, like what." Procedures and health procedures are you providing that's going to make me feel comfortable if I have my family members with me or if I'm alone? It just doesn't add up. Not everyone is LeBron James. Not everyone's like your top 10 players in the league that can actually go through this and financially feel like they're safe and comfortable with it. Plus, there's another issue that's happening, in our country is the civil unrest, and some of these players feel like that's a more powerful movement right now, and it's taken away from that movement to restarting the NBA season. So in a nutshell, I know we were very optimistic a couple podcasts ago about movies coming back. We actually talked about some of these movies, talked about the NBA, another one on our podcast, but it just seems like we're just not there. Predominantly for health reasons, we're not there, and obviously the Black Lives Movement and civil unrest is another issue to this. But I think a lot of the things that we were talking about earlier on are going to be pushed even further. Sports, movies, some of the shows that were supposed to be released on streaming platforms like WandaVision, things that were cut halfway through their airing, Captain America and Falcon, stuff like that. They're going to be pushed back. They probably won't announce it until I want to say end of July, but we know it's coming. We know there's going to be a pushback on a lot of the shows, and in some cases, some of them are advancing because they're already in the can. Like, for example, I'm hearing The Boys might be released sooner. But again, that's stuff that's already done pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Anything that was being filmed during the pandemic or had, principal photography incomplete, we're not seeing it anytime soon. I think because the state of our health crisis in the country, we just had to be prepared to know that we're not going to get some of the stuff that we thought we're going to get. Sports. I know, like, for example, NASCAR is back. Baseball is not coming back anytime soon. Football is not coming back anytime soon. We're just hearing now about the NBA. Dana White, for whatever reason, thinks he can create his fight island, like Bloodsport, and two men enter, one man leave type of thing. Like, he showed something over the weekend, like a social media post.
Only if they play the Kumite song over and over.
He showed a social media post of them building the cage on the island with the sunset, like sundown coming. And I'm like, in real life, it's gonna look terrible. Like, you're gonna be outdoor environment. You're not gonna have the proper lighting. You're gonna hear background. Like, he has no idea. Like, in his mind, he's thinking like the Mortal Kombat video games.
Definitely.
But in reality, it's gonna look like the challenge from MTV. It's just not gonna be what we expect.
Look like Mortal Kombat 2.
Or Mortal Kombat 2. He's gonna have to CGI some stuff for his pay-per-view to make it look like it's as exciting as it's gonna be. So I just wanted to bring this topic up to make sure that us, the Heroes Peak group and our fandom, brace ourselves for a reality where we just won't be returning to normalcy anytime soon. I know some of us have gone back to work, and you can see the COVID-19 measures that we're going through, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon. And I don't think, pop culture and sports and media entertainment is going to be back to what it was before the pandemic anytime soon. It's just what it is. Like, you just look at, the numbers, you look at your local news, places that were open before are now going to be shut. Bars are open before, gyms, good luck on that, So
that's all right. I'm watching Ultimate Tag on Hulu. I do not need to exercise.
Yeah, luckily that was also filmed before the pandemic. Yeah, who would have thought? I guarantee you, if it was an NBC, I forgot what network that is, had no idea that would be this summer's biggest blockbuster hit.
It is so okay. JJ Watt is I'm sorry, JJ Watt. You and your brothers aren't great hosts, but it's almost fits because it's that funky American Gladiator, where the host isn't supposed to be the star of the show. It's the crazy gladiators. And we're fans of the flow here in the house. Have you guys watched it?
Yeah, I watched American Gladiator and Tag. Yes, I watched both.
Ultimate Tag, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm the one that watches all of these shows. So yes, I enjoyed it. It's. I mean, JJ Watt is a terrible host. When you watch Titan Games with The Rock and Kerry Champion and the third guy, I don't know who he
Right.
is. But he's a filler. But you could tell that the production and how they host that show is like, there's money behind that.
Right. Yeah.
And editing of the backstories of the players. Whereas Tag is just like Double Dare meets American Gladiators.
And they interview the people in like a I don't know where. There's like an echo where whenever they do their interview responses, they're like inside of a warehouse or something. There's like zero production value. It really they could just like
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, but it's a hit for them right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's like one of those weird, like you wouldn't expect it. Because we've tried to watch that ultimate mini golf one, and that was boring as all hell.
Steph Curry, was that the other one? Steph Curry.
Yeah, he showed up for like 10 seconds.
God bless his soul. He tried.
But his shoes are boring too, so I don't imagine his
Yikes.
TV show would be any better. All right. I mean, we could go through all the stupid game shows we've tried to watch here.
No,
Flores, yeah.
I would definitely like Titan Games. I don't like the one that says on ABC, don't say whatever, or you don't, whatever it is.
Oh,
Don't.
we just watched Don't. We were laughing our butts off with the
That's
Ryan Reynolds over
narration.
Yeah, dude, we were laughing. That was
That's.
I mean,
too
the games
cheesy.
were kind of boring.
Yeah. And the dude, the host from Parks and Rec, what's his name?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I never liked his humor on the show too.
The Ellen game show isn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
No. So yeah, I Don't was all right. I think we had more fun with that. I tried the Floor is Lava. That was the most boring thing I think I'd watched.
Yeah, I watched a couple of those and then I had to turn it off.
Yeah, you're like,
This is where we are.
Arnie.
yeah. So I want family laughing at.
You know, it's
being
funny
hurt.
side story. When I was young, living in the type of homes that I lived in, we used to have these hot radiator pipes, and we used to play "Don't Step on the Lava." Basically, don't step on a radiator, and yeah, it left some permanent marks on our bodies.
I actually got to do a you can't do that on television. No, Double Dare. I got to do a Double Dare test where like kids will compete in a Double Dare-esque competition in Disney World. Yeah, yes, I'm that guy. And I got a certificate that said they'd call me if there was a spot in the show. But I live in New York, and they filmed that thing in California. It was never going to be on, but it was fun. All right.
Sir.
So now for the fun topic of the evening, we were about to talk about art versus artist. Recently, wonderful J.K. Rowling decided to show her transphobic side and double and triple down on her bigotry there. And it has really caused, as it always does, it caused a big stir, and it should. And the question when these kind of things happen is, can you partake in a person's artwork when that person has shown their ass, basically? And we can talk about different levels here. This isn't just the cancel culture. Jamel Hill made a transphobic thing 6 years ago.
We could talk about that.
And then she apologizes. Okay, you know, but then she's trying to, talk about the Barstool Sports guys who continually make racist jokes, and they're going back and forth. So that's more of a cancel culture competition, right?
Yeah, because she not only did she own it, she explained how she changed her opinions about that stuff.
That's the whole point.
Which shows maturity.
Right. You evolve from your thinking.
Yes.
Right. And that's where, and we can talk about, when we're talking about more in our neck of the woods, we talk about James Gunn. So James Gunn was shown to have a lot of nasty old school jokes. Pedophilia. And my personal opinion, you tell more than one of those jokes, it starts to get really weird, especially when you do it out in public. And, Disney let him go. and he had more of a backing, and now he's back to work. So it's not like, I mean, he sort of got shit for it, but then never really landed anywhere. But none of us went, oh, you know what? Those jokes are nasty. I'm not watching Guardians of the Galaxy, right? If I'm not speaking
No,
for you
you're
guys,
right. No,
but-
you're right. You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a hot buzz with the cancel culture for a minute. Then it got quiet, and then we heard DC hired him for Suicide Squad 2, and then we heard Marvel is talks with him for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So in my mind, I'm like, wow, they didn't even last that long. It wasn't even a year. It was like maybe 6 months, 7 months before he was back in the saddle.
Right. So when someone's just got a horrible, not just sense of humor, but just a horrible, a single type of bigotry, Islamic phobic or transphobic or gay bash or those kind of things, you can kind of say, yeah, that guy's an asshole, but whatever. But I think when you start getting into the bigger names that we've run into, the R. Kellys and the Kevin Spaceys and the Louis C.K.'s and, you know, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and they start getting really nasty. And then
Well,
you start,
know, Chris, I mean that's because that crosses a line between like
Mhm.
something that
Saying
you
and
type,
doing.
and you
Yeah.
text, or you voice,
Right.
where a physical act.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it's like, all right, you can
Right.
tell me that you're just joking, you didn't know better, and some people may accept it, I may not. But when you're in the physical act of committing that crime,
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, dude, you can't deny it any longer. You can't say you didn't know what you're talking about because you're physically doing it. So those guys are treated a little differently for a right reason. I
But
believe.
the question is, can you go back and watch or enjoy art or entertainment from that kind of person? So I'm stepping it beyond the, hey, this, you know, Roseanne Barr, and I'm going to the big guns here. Can you enjoy the Cosby Show with that guy in your face? You know, can you listen to an R Kelly song and know what that guy did?
That's a good
Well,
question.
Right
That's a
off
good
the
question.
top, I'll tell you no and no. I don't watch the Cosby Show anymore, and I don't listen to R. Kelly.
Okay, but is there a show that you can think of that you've watched or music you've listened to with somebody who's been, I mean, we all watch sports, and we know that sports is full of this kind of problem.
True. I mean, I still watch Kevin Spacey movies, Usual Suspects,
Mhm.
when not knowing the crimes that he did with young boys. But in that aspect, I'm not watching it solely for him and his acting. I'm
Right.
watching it for the movie. Whereas R. Kelly he's a solo feature, and he's singing about quote unquote romance,
Right.
which is a direct tie to his crime. So
Mhm.
it's very easy for me anyway to say, yeah, I don't need to listen to that. Whereas the Cosby Show is a little different, because the Cosby Show, although it was a creation of Bill Cosby, there was a bunch of other facets in that show that I was attracted to and I like. And although I don't actively watch the show anymore, I wouldn't say I'm not watching it because of Bill Cosby. I mean, I watch it because, you know, maybe some of the storylines aren't, you know, they don't hold me as they used to before. I think R. Kelly is a very easy, it's like low-hanging fruit with him, because his music is a direct reflection of what he's talking about, and it's him. He's not in a whole band of people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Spacey is a little different. Bill Cosby is a little different. You know, James Gunn. I mean, he didn't. Again, you mentioned before big names who actually committed crimes as opposed to we just talked about it. That's a little different. I know for a long time people were attacking Michael Jackson because of the allegations that, despite the fact he went to court proven not guilty, people were still holding his feet to the fire.
Well, as we
And-
know, not guilty doesn't necessarily, it's a tough call.
I mean, when you get tried for the same crime multiple
Yeah,
times,
exactly.
at what point
Yeah,
is it like,
come on,
Yeah.
like, can we shoot it down finally? Even the
Yeah.
blockbuster movie that came out that Oprah was behind and everybody was ready to villainize him for, came out that it was that the guys were lying.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
If it was
You
just a first,
you don't realize how that went away, right? Like Oprah's credibility.
if it was just a first court case back in the mid '90s and then nothing else came out, then there'd be like a shadow looming over him. I get that,
If
but
he
the
wrote
fact that
yeah,
it went again and again, and each time it was the same result. That's when you're like, all right, dude, what happened to due process in this country? Like,
Dude, yeah, like the man is dead. They put the dudes for again trying to get some notoriety or notoriety and some money in obviously washed up actors' hands. Like they lie about the thing and create that Neverland documentary. Oddly, after he dies, everybody in the industry is behind it. Oprah, Oprah is telling Oprah is calling them brave and this, that, and the other, and then it comes out they're liars.
yeah.
Well,
And I think
I'm
that's
not gonna blame Oprah completely for that. You know,
Nah, like dude, like
it's not.
there was plenty of people already calling at the same time saying like, no, like this is not researched.
No, I
Like
know,
this is
but
not. No, she
until they were,
chose a side and it was the wrong one.
yeah, but until they
She
were
chose
found
an
to be liars,
assumption,
I
I should
wouldn't have
say.
blamed her for saying, you know,
well, and
that this
For
is
saying what?
bad, right?
so this isn't
I don't
just
know.
a Michael Jackson question. This
Yeah.
is all right. So you believe Michael Jackson, and also, dead people are easy to put aside for their crimes. I mean,
Definitely.
we can all assume that almost every famous artist in the past 1,000 years creating stuff that we look at probably had some sort of bigotry. So, it's pretty easy to go, okay, they're dead, I don't have to worry about it. But it's the live people that really start to question that. Are you supporting that person by purchasing their stuff, by continuing to listen? Is it just we all have our individual comfort level? So I'm a white guy. 99% of the time, these people aren't targeting me. So is it easier for me to go, you know what, I can listen to that. I can watch that Kevin Spacey movie, or I can watch Harry Potter and not worry about it. Is that because of where I am, my privilege, or is it what?
I think that's general humanity. Like it's kind of like we want to put people and things into these boxes socially, but really the way we react to things are very human. Like the further something is away from you, the in terms of like your ability to relate to it, the further something is away from you experientially, the less you're going to give a damn about it. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of, even if you take it back to the whole like Black Lives Matter and the what you call it, the times right now, there's a whole bunch of what I would call white folks who weren't racist per se, who were just on the fence, didn't really care either way. You know what I'm saying? Like they live in their homogeneous town. They may not be particularly racist, or intentionally so, but like really it's a problem that they feel like that's not their problem. It's not part of my lived experience. So like those kind of things I think fall into those categories. R. Kelly, I think like universally, there's a universal empathy for what the things that him, Weinstein, Epstein, like there's a universal empathy for those victims now. But like I'm gonna say the trans community I don't think that they have that kind of like
Not yet.
pull yet. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but most of us haven't experienced trans people in our community, in our conversation, in our workplace. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like it's going to get harder for people to kind of like make that jump over to like, yeah, they, like J.K. Rowling shouldn't have done that. Like,
So for me, it kind of goes back to what James was saying before. There's a line that, is it an actual crime these people are committed? Like, J.K. Rowling, she said some stupid things, very ignorant, very stupid. Was it a crime what she said? No, it's just stupid thinking. If, for example, for me, it's Clint Eastwood. I don't agree with his politics at all, but I can sit there and watch a Clint Eastwood movie, no
Mhm.
problem,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
makes good movies. But I'm not gonna watch him at the convention talk to an empty chair, right? Because it's just dumb. So
Right. Well, it's a lot of us.
That's a good point.
Yeah, listening to Eminem albums when they were back popular again. I mean,
mhm.
that's filled with misogyny
Yeah.
and homophobia and all of that.
That was rough.
I just watched an Instagram battle yesterday where two New York City hip hop rappers who were very popular in the 90s and
Legends.
2000s. Legends, epic legends. And one very popular song, one of the artists who, would have a homophobic derogatory term, he didn't say that word. He let the silence break and then he continued his rap. And I'm like, that shows growth.
Yep.
Knowing that, 20 years ago it was a different, well, maybe not 15 years ago,
Mm.
it was a different climate for that kind of stuff. People
I think-
change, people learn, people grow.
And even if they're doing it to prevent public shame, that actually shows the
Yeah.
public is
Hey,
actually
maybe
coming around.
if this wasn't on an
Yeah,
Instagram
That's
for
what public shame is
200,000
here
people.
for.
Yeah.
That's what public shame is here
and
for.
the thing
Like, that's it.
and
Like,
the thing with J.K. Rowling, we all know she's not a stupid person. I'm sure if she sat down with some trans people and they had a discussion, she could hopefully learn, and understand a little better.
Mhm.
So that's my hope anyway. It's about growth, like James said, right? People have to grow.
And that
it's
goes back
about
to my, go ahead.
your openness and willingness to do so, though.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
and people of money, power, and station. I think like it's a lot harder to crack that shell.
Yeah, but Keith, she came from nothing. She came from like
Came from.
like
I dig it.
living
I dig it.
homeless.
Mhm.
Did she
You listen
take
to her
that
story.
nothing? Did she take that nothing with her though?
Mm.
Dude,
Well, and
there's not the same kind of like there's struggle and then there's struggle. There's struggle where someone like I wasn't born to this struggle or this, that, and the other, and it just happened, and I fought my way out of it. That's
Okay.
cool. Like
Good point.
I'm not.
That's a good point.
She's not sitting there with generational. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
can't
Well,
get
and
out the hood.
you can look at her content and you can see that she isn't very. I mean, she does a lot of research and stuff, but she doesn't take the time to. She didn't take the time to go to talk to Japanese people when she wanted to make a magic school in Japan, and she picked the most generic name possible, right? She didn't, go there and really understand the culture. She got in trouble for the same with the Native American culture when she was like, "Oh, there was a Native American school, and I'm just going to use all this stuff." And she didn't kind of take the time to do more than read a book.
Listen,
And-
I told you guys Harry Potter world wasn't as good as J.R.R. Tolkien's world. But you
Well, I
guys
mean-
said I hated Jesus and puppies, so
it's an interesting thing when you're a British lady, you can take and use European culture as freely as you want. When you start breaking out of that, you got to start putting a little more thought in that, right? And that's what happens is, as America has been, all these white creators had a very generic worldview, and you get stuff like the Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds has some seriously terrible.
I just watched that the other day too. It's terrible.
Right?
I wouldn't even have my kids watch that show. It's that
And-
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super racial stereotypes, super misogynistic stuff, and it was a
borderline rape in some
Right?
cases. What they're doing to some of the girls.
what was the movie I watched? Not Karens. I almost said Karens. All right, I'll think of it. But basically, there was a joke in it that they just left the couple, the guy was drunk and he was basically forcing himself on the girl, and they were laughing as they were walking away. And you're like, you know, these 80s comedies.
Yeah, they would change their mask. The boyfriend would leave the tent, and he'd put the mask that the boyfriend was wearing, and then he'd sleep with her, and then they'd be laughing about it afterwards. And I'm like, ugh, dude, that's not consensual sex.
Yeah. So it's something that has to grow, and when we watch these things, we have to, you know, oh man, that was so funny. Well, it was because you didn't understand what was wrong with it, and now hopefully you're looking at it and understanding what's wrong with it.
I think it's about to be like we're coming upon probably the most driest era in humanity ever.
Well, I don't know. There's some good.
We'll find some new avenues to create something that's at the time was acceptable. 20 years from now, we're like, "Whoa, wow, this wasn't acceptable."
Well, what's the Mel Brooks movie that always gets brought up, and they say you'd never make Blazing Saddles today? When actually, Blazing Saddles is one of those things. It's making fun of racism instead of just being racist to be funny.
Right.
Right. So you have, I think there's an avenues open for comedy and those kind of things where you don't use it as the base punchline because it's easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of these people are going, oh, well, I can't view comedy anymore. And then you get successful comedy. I mean, I don't think we're not in the golden age of comedy right now.
Yeah, that's because some people don't know how to really be comedic without having to be negative. Like Dave Chappelle said it right. Like he could poke fun of things without poking fun at it. Like that's why he quit the show. He was like, Comedy Central was asking him to do more and more, pushing the line where it wasn't about laughing at some of the stuff that he was creating. It was more just to get a laugh at the expense of himself and the people that he was joking about. You know, he made a lot of caricatures of white people, black people, you know, different ethnicities, but then he felt like Comedy Central was asking him to do more at the expense of himself and to create like a common stereotype. That wasn't what he was trying to do. Yeah. He was trying to laugh at something that we were all kind of, you know, connect to or not. But it became more lucrative for a corporation of Comedy Central to say, no, push the gamut and get it to where you're borderline basically being racist, you know.
Right. And I think like political comedy is a very open portion right now. I know it feels like you can't make fun of politics, but I think it's almost ripe for good stuff.
The fact that we're even having this conversation about what, like, yeah, there are still stuff that you could make fun of. Like, yeah, that means that we're coming up on a dry time.
Yeah, we'll see. I have hope.
All right.
Hope.
I'm already watching a bunch of subpar
redheads,
PC
right?
comedians.
Subpar PC comedians. Yeah.
Well, so art versus artist, I say everybody has to make their own decisions about their own lines, but try not to actively support people who are actively hurting people. Wait till they're arrested, then you can go back and buy their DVD.
What?
Wait till they're arrested.
All right. Does anybody have any last wonderful words in that?
We finally put this Harry Potter thing to bed. It is nowhere near as good as The Lord of the Rings.
It's a whole different product, bro. Like not even. I don't even think about Harry Potter when I think about Lord of the Rings.
Who's compared Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings?
The production value.
A lot of people are out there. There's a whole cult
those people are dumb.
Fans of Harry Potter that screaming.
You compare Harry Potter to Twilight. You don't compare Harry Potter you don't compare Harry Potter to.
I guess
you don't compare Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings. That's like comparing like Mozart to some like rock ballad. Like it's not. Yeah, it's both music, but
they're both fantasy, but one's childhood adventure fantasy. I would say Willow is a little bit closer to a comparison.
Yes, I compare Willow to Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, I was saying to Harry Potter.
To Harry Potter? No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nah, it was
Willow's so lighthearted and fun adventure.
I loved Willow. Willow was awesome.
A couple weeks ago again. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, we watched it.
I'm gonna have to put that back on. Like I definitely.
Still think Legend is better than Willow.
I have not seen
Legend?
Legend in forever.
Willow, wait, the production, number one, the
Legend
production
is
value
sad.
on Willow is just much better than
The production value is better, but the quotables,
the quotables on Willow is much better.
Oh, that's a
Nah,
good. That's a
man.
good King of the Hill topic. Is
Darkness
quotes
and music.
No, that's, I mean, those quotables are different. Like, those are whole, like I memorized whole scenes from Legend.
Right.
Like,
So then maybe quotable movies. Oh, that's a good one. All right.
I know.
So
Mad Mardigan? Are you crazy? He's the best character.
He died.
So
Val Kilmer was good in that.
Val
He
Kilmer
was.
was awesome.
He
in
was
that
probably
movie.
one of his best roles ever.
That's
When you
right.
think about it, we look at his entire category, but
That
Much
set
better
up
than
his
The
whole
Saint.
Batman run.
much better than Saint.
The Saint was
The closest would
terrible.
probably be Heat. Would be the closest role he had.
All right. So what we're announcing today is a King of the Hill competition. Could I show my screen? Should I share my screen?
Yeah.
Should be able to.
This here. Okay, share. Ooh, I got a slow PC. It's just coming up. All right. So what we have here is I don't know. They say Sweet 16. What's the 32? What's the word for a 32 term competition?
Thirsty 32. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So this is the 80s movie theme, King of the Hill, Thirsty 32. I'm going to. I've got a little logo thing I got to finish up. And then we're gonna release it. And everybody, I want y'all to fill it out, and we're gonna see who wins this thing. As you can see, we've got it cut from 4 basic groups: ballads, pop, dance, rock, and new wave. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see new wave? So
Yeah, I can see it.
now, what I didn't do is I did not add any scores and anything without vocals. So the "Oh Yeah" song from
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller is not in there because I was like, it doesn't really fit. I also took out stuff that was reuses from older eras. So La Bamba came out because that was a 50s song
True.
that was
Good call.
remade.
Good
So
call.
no Axel Foley theme then.
And Stand By Me also, unfortunately, had to come out because that was an older song that was repurposed. Even if it was repurposed in a great fashion.
So the entire Dirty Dancing soundtrack is out the window.
Yeah, it was Dirty Dancing.
No, because some songs. Wait.
No, they had some original songs.
Uh-oh.
by Patrick
Wait, did I
Swayze.
put
Good
it the
luck with
original
those.
Dirt? Oh, that's a good
Time
question.
of My Life. Time of My Life is original.
You think? Is it?
Yeah,
I believe
That was
so.
made for that song?
that was made for that song.
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was made for that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
And I only picked one song from each soundtrack that was competing, so that you couldn't have the Top Gun soundtrack take over the entire.
Oh,
thing.
there's like 2 songs at least from Top Gun that should be here.
So I picked what I thought.
Danger Zone and Take My Breath Away.
What I thought was the biggest song of the soundtrack. So Footloose got in, as opposed to some of the other songs that.
Hey,
might have
who
been.
are our number 1 seeds? I'm just curious if you don't mind sharing.
All right. So number 1 seeds
From Duke University.
So in pop dance, I picked Maniac as my number 1 seed.
He's a maniac.
Right. And then over in
Wait,
ballads,
it's Maniac there, not What a Feeling.
well, that's the thing is I had to pick
Nah,
one.
Maniac was a bigger hit than What a Feeling, dude.
No, it wasn't, dude.
Remember the 80s fitness regime? That was their anthem. You go to any one of those classes, that's the song that gets
They're
played, not
dancing
What a
hard.
Feeling.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
a Feeling was only getting played at weddings.
That's right. So okay.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Dude, you were like 4 years old. How you know?
You were only a year older than me. What are you talking about, son?
All right. And so in ballads, I choose Wind Beneath My Wings. It's my wife's favorite movie, so I'm kind of biased.
Which one? Wind Beneath. Oh,
Wind Beneath My
Ooh.
Wings.
Yeah.
I like the hip hop remix to that one, but
Okay.
that'll do.
Rock number 1 is Danger Zone.
all right.
All right.
Wait,
so
we don't have Eye of the Tiger there? Oh, that's Wait,
It's on there.
Man, that's true.
wait, Eye of the Tiger wasn't a number one dude. Eye of the Tiger to
Danger
this
Zone
day.
is
They're missing
definitely number
Kumite.
one.
What about
I don't care.
Bloodsport?
You tell me Danger Zone is a bigger hit than Eye of a Tiger. When the wall went down in Germany, Eye of a Tiger was being played.
And I chose for number one of New Wave is no, that's not the one. Where was it? Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I agree on that number one seed. Disagree with Rock. What was the other one on the left? On the western
I had
western
chosen
region,
Wind Beneath My Wings.
the
And
east region.
I actually chose Maniac, but I put it in the wrong spot. That's all right. I put it against Kokomo, so it's probably going to win anyway.
Kokomo.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's the Beach Boys song
Beach
from
Boys.
Karate Kid.
Aruba, Jamaica.
Oh, ooh, I wanna.
Jamaica.
I never knew that was the name of the song. To be honest with you.
All right. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to tell you what our first matchups are. So, Wind Beneath My Wings from '88 against Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. Do you guys remember that? Mannequin.
Chalk's
I
gonna
love
win there.
that song.
Chalk.
That's a great song.
All right. Glory of Love versus If You Leave.
Yeah.
In
You
your
should put the numbers there. By the way, I'm just curious. Can you put the seeding numbers too? So.
Okay, I can go.
No, the reason I ask is like in a true tournament, there's always like an upset at the 7, 8, or 5, 6 levels.
Instead of that, maybe put the movie where it came from.
I have that
Yeah.
whole list too. We can do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that's
In Your Eyes versus
yours.
Say You, Say Me.
Yeah, chalk in your eyes.
Say You Say Me, wasn't that from White Knights? Or
Yes.
Yeah, White Knights. Yep.
And The Time of My Life versus Up Where We Belong.
Time of my life.
Time of my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far, all the favorite seeds.
Okay. Rhythm of the Night versus 9 to 5. I don't know.
Ooh, it might be an upset there. That one seed might go down,
9 to
dude.
5.
9 to 5.
9 to
My
5.
my daughter
9 to
plays that
5.
shit, and I'm
9
like,
to
how do you
5.
know about Dolly Parton? She
Dolly
was
9
Parton.
to 5.
yeah,
9 to
man.
5
Strong,
is the winner.
strong contender. All right.
That one seed going down right there. Upset. Kentucky.
Party,
Had more staying power.
Party Man versus Into the Groove.
Party Man from Batman versus Into
That's-
the Groove. What was that from? Into the Groove.
I have the list here. Okay, so Into the Groove.
Quiet as Kept. That was one of my least favorite Prince songs. Party
Wow,
Man.
All right, I lost my spot. Break, New Wave. Oh no,
All right.
I don't know where it
Look
went.
at
All
that.
right, I have it.
The next matchup is great.
All right, Ghostbusters versus Fame.
Fame.
This is
that's
a
a
tough.
one. Yeah.
It's a tough one, man.
Fame.
I'm gonna be like Dick Vitale. It all comes down to numbers. Who lasted the longest in the charts?
Ghostbusters was just constantly played when I was a kid, though. It was everywhere. But
I
it
felt
is
like the same thing with Fame. I remember the TV show that came after that.
Mhm.
That was the opening theme song. I think longevity will go to Fame, but
I think longevity will go to Fame.
Absolutely. It's a tough call, but Ghostbusters, man, it's a
I mean,
hard
that's
call.
part of every intro dance class in high
It's
school.
true,
with
yeah.
That song.
All right, and Maniac versus Kokomo.
Maniac, come on. It's
I think
easy.
Maniac wins.
No, Kokomo.
No, man.
What are you talking about? They still play Kokomo.
They do. They play Kokomo.
Walk into any dive bar like America. What are you talking about? That's crazy. I just heard that the other day.
Yeah, I bet you if I go back to Indiana, it's still playing on a jukebox somewhere.
I love that song.
I'll give you that one. I just like Maniac better. I'm not using any stats on this one.
That's not a,
I see I screwed up, and I will have to edit this. So I got Danger Zone versus Invincible.
Come on, man. Danger Zone.
That's right.
This
This is actually
This is like a freaking Kentucky whipping on this. Team just got in for the first time.
That's right. So as you can see, Invincible's here twice. It's wrong. This is actually supposed to be Eye of the Tiger. So it's Footloose versus Eye of the Tiger as the biggest matchup of the rock section. I can't hear you. Did I lose
No.
audio?
Eye of a Tiger, man. Eye of a
Okay,
Tiger.
Okay. I don't know. Footloose still gets played. Footloose is a big guns.
yeah, but Eyes of Tiger is pretty
I
much
know,
like
I know.
Dude,
synonymous with
you go to any CrossFit
competition,
gym, any competition, any
Yeah.
NBA, NFL, dude, that song's just going nowhere.
All right, so Heat is on versus When
Heat
Doves
is on.
Cry.
Ooh, Doves Cry.
Heat is on. Heat is
Nah,
on.
When Doves Cry.
Dude,
Today,
when is the last
my
time you
favorite
heard When
Prince
Doves
song.
Cry?
The
the
other
last time you
day
heard
when
it?
I was watching the movie.
Now I picked When Doves Cry over Purple Rain. I will get flack for that. But I think When
honestly,
Doves Cry.
Purple Rain would have been the better hit, but I like When Doves Cry better.
Yeah.
I think it gets played more to me, and maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, it does
All right.
get played more. You're right.
All right, and then Power of Love versus
Power of
St.
Love.
Elmo's Fire.
Power of Love.
Yeah.
It definitely
Yeah.
is, but St. Elmo's Fire is a good.
Power of Love, man. UConn moves on.
I think it's going far.
UConn,
All right,
Dark Horse.
It's a wedding classic.
New Wave. Don't You Forget About Me, #1 seed versus Weird Science.
Don't You Forget About Me.
Absolutely. Okay. Princes of the Universe versus Cry Little Sister. I think it's
Cry, little sister.
a tough one. Not an easy out.
I mean, although I like the other one more, it's Princes of the Universe.
I'm going with Cry, little sister.
All right,
I like both, but just to go against Keith.
Yeah.
And
Life.
Queen gets a second. Queen is one of three groups with 2 songs.
Ooh, Flash Gordon.
That's
Come on,
it?
man.
It should be more.
Flash.
Queen was the 80s.
Wants to
you
live forever.
Yeah, well, so Flash Gordon versus A View to a Kill. I think this is an easy out, but I don't want to.
Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. They
No
move
Duran
on.
Duran.
30-point blowout.
Yeah.
All right. And then Everybody Wants to Rule the World versus The Never Ending Story.
Everybody wants to rule the world. Come on, man.
Everyone, wait.
Never Ending Story got here because they were in a weak division. They were conference winners.
Wait,
They're like the Ivy
wait.
League champs.
What's the song? How's that song go? Everyone wants
They
to
just
rule the world?
The Never Ending Story just showed up in the last.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's at every bar too you go to, karaoke, whatever.
Yeah, that's
Never Ending
definitely-
Story is like Yale. They just won their conference. They get an automatic bid to this damn thing.
It just showed up.
let's not talk down about Never Ending Story.
I'm talking
Because
down.
that song is very like that Never
Stranger
Ending Story.
Things. Stranger Things season 2. It just showed up. The Never Ending Story.
Yeah,
song.
dude, like don't. That song is definitely.
I think it could make a comeback. It is the weirdest.
Mike, don't get us booted by YouTube. We don't got
Right.
copyrights for it.
Dude, if you want to see a weird music video, go watch
all
the
you're gonna
Never
hear.
Ending Story music video. Dude, that was kind of crazy. All
I
right.
like these matchups for the most part.
Yeah, I gotta fix that one. I'll throw in our wonderful lion. And King of the Hill.
Everybody wants to rule
All right.
the world.
I'm going to. How do I get out of sharing my screen? Stop video and audio.
The never end. Oh, do you guys see the honest trailer of the Never Ending Story?
No.
I sent you guys earlier today. Hilarious, but true.
Stop share. All right, there we go. So there is our matchups for our first King of the Hill competition. I'm gonna call the shot. I'm sorry. I think Danger Zone has it, but that's just me. And I haven't even gone through. I haven't done all the matchups, so maybe I'll surprise myself.
I'll let the subscribers make the selection.
Yep, we'll release it on Facebook and Twitter and all that. Finish it up and we'll get out there and we'll make everybody do it. We'll see who wins. All right, guys, that's what we have for today. Thank you very much. I think we. I'm sorry. I'm reading. Mike pops up little notes to me, and then I can't concentrate.
He's telling us to get our bag, make sure we get our bag and sponsors and stuff.
All right. So, Mike, why don't you tell
Jadakiss.
tell everybody where they can find us and help us out here in our little podcast.
Well, as you know, you can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, tune in, anywhere you get your audio podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, at the Heroes Speak YouTube channel and all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Heroes Speak. And keep watching, keep listening. We appreciate it.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I had a wonderful time. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you, Chris, for having us, man.
Absolutely.
You're the best around. That should have been it. Now it's stuck in the NIT tournament.
No, there is a
sweep the leg at NIT tournament.
There is a secondary list of cheesy 80s hits that
Yeah,
really
the
are not.
NIT, Net Invited Tournament, where Howard University goes to, and Syracuse after having a terrible season goes to. I know all about that tournament.
That's right. That's where you'll hear Kumite. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody. Wear a mask. Stay safe.
Yes, please stay safe, everyone.
And don't forget your towels.
Don't forget your towels. Yeah, aliens might be coming. We don't ever know.
No.
And Mike to cut. Cut it out.